evening. Welcome to the November Your Questions Answered live stream. I'm Michael, KB9VBR.
Yep, and I'm Dave, KZ9V.
Oh, good evening, and welcome, Dave. Thanks for joining us on the stream this evening. I know that when people, I made the announcement. I always get a positive response when you're on the show. So that's
Yeah, you're just trying to make me feel good.
maybe.
They love Joe. They love Joe.
They do, and they love you too, all for different reasons. So that's great. That's great that we're able to mix them up.
Mhm.
But yeah, just to start things off, we got a big show tonight, so we're going to be talking about some real fun stuff. And be sure to stick around because a little bit later in the live stream, we're going to give away stuff, and it's a pretty good giveaway too. So hopefully you'll be able to. If you're filing in into the live stream, if you're filing into the chat, just be sure you stick around because you're going to want to get in on the giveaway that'll be happening after the 7:30 hour Central Time. But like I said, welcome everybody. Welcome Team Replay. If you're watching later, that's great. I'm glad you queued us up and are watching because we got some great people in the house tonight. Dale and Mike and the other Mike and Chris and New Haven, Connecticut, Southeast Louisiana. I mean, we get this stream gets out just as far as 20 meters pretty much. Okay, if anybody has any questions, be sure to throw them in the chat. We'd love to answer them. You've got the combined knowledge of.
Yeah. Oh boy! Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, here we go. Buddy Scout, good evening. I gotta pull out Shane here because he hit 1,000 subscribers a couple weeks ago. So we gotta give him a big congratulations over on his channel there.
Is he the one that was at the camp out?
Yes, he was there. Yeah. He's with the ice shanty. So
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Upstate New York. Yep. Karen from the other side of town. Greg. Good old Don from the Twin Cities. So always good to have you in there. Oh my gosh. We got a lot of people filling in here. I'm not going to be able to keep track of them. Buddy Nathan from up the hill. And 007 wants to know if it's going to be a new car. It might be a new car, but I'm not Bob Barker from The Price is Right or the voice of Johnny. A new car. Oh, goody 45. Hey, speaking of which, I just got a QSL card from him. So we're going to share cards in a second here. Holy smokes, Mark in Michigan. Always love chatting with you. We're not gonna have a stream. We're just gonna be saying hi to everybody. All right, so like I said, we're going to be giving away some stuff at the 7:30 point, or in about a half hour. So be sure you stick around in the stream so you can find out how you can win because we'll be giving you all the details then. But first, if anybody's got any, like I said, any of them ham radio related questions, we'd love to answer them. And I know I got one here. Dale popped something in, and he was looking forward to attending the next POTA camp out in October of 2024. Will you be releasing the dates and what park early enough so that we can book? And Dave, maybe we should just give a little bit of a follow-up on the first ever Wisconsin's POTA campout. So because
Mm-hmm.
we were there for a good part of the weekend, not the entire weekend, but
Yeah, not the part that it rained.
you skipped that.
Yes, I did. Yeah, I had my own rain planned on Friday night.
Yeah. It rained. It Friday it pretty much rained all day. It let up a little bit later in the afternoon. People started filing in around 2 o'clock or so. So it was by then the rain was light enough so that it didn't make setting up equipment and your tents and the campers and everything miserable. So that was a nice thing. I think the Friday activities were pretty much on your own. Saturday morning we had a big pancake breakfast with Newski's bacon. So that was that was the highlight of the day. And I don't know if we did do a live stream on Saturday afternoon, and I think that pretty much encapsulated what the camp out was all about. So it's if you hadn't seen that live stream, you'll have to go back through my video archive and catch it, because it was a lot of fun. So
yeah, I was disappointed you never got over to my campsite. I was sitting there waiting and nobody showed up.
You were way down on the other end. Holy smokes! I barely made it. I barely made it through our loop.
Those were the luxury sites with the waterfront. It was beautiful.
Oh yeah, that's right. You had the waterfront site. So
I did.
we were more up at the top of the hill where it was a little bit less water.
Yeah. Well, I was there about a month before the rally and scouted it out, so I knew the primo place.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right. You were camping. Yeah, you camped there a month before we were there in October. So
yep.
Yeah, you had the whole layout. Which, but the cool thing of the entire event was the Saturday evening potluck dinner and the campfire.
Mm-hmm.
We had about 25 campers there, 25 people attending. So it was a good sized group. And I don't know, man, how much food we had, but it was a lot of food.
Yep. And I thought the conversation got especially interesting after you passed out the peppermint schnapps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We call that the basket of trailer booze. I got a little basket of airplane bottles in the back of the trailer, and that's
yeah, they were about this big. Yeah.
But it's enough. It's enough to be slightly regretful. So. Yeah, I love the trailer booze. So it was good. It was a really good event, and I'm looking forward to planning it for next year. I think we did a little post camp out survey, and everybody that attended is energetic. They're on board to do it again. So if everybody makes it again, who knows? Depending on schedules or whatnot. I think what I'm looking at, we don't have a site. We don't have a site planned yet, but our location. But date wise, I'm going to try to do it. Now this year we did it. It was like the second weekend in October. It was like the 13th, 14th, 15th in that neighborhood. We're going to try to move it ahead a week. So it's like that first weekend in October. Hopefully the weather is going to be slightly better, but it's still Wisconsin. Wisconsin state parks, you can reserve sites 11 months in advance. So that window for an October camp out is just starting to open right now. So we're going to try to get those dates announced and locations within the next few weeks before, probably around Thanksgiving time. We'll make, as I got to confer with Joe and Travis yet about that, and then we'll know for sure when where we're gonna do it. But
it's a challenge, especially if you go to a state park. As soon as the weather starts to turn bad is when the sites really become available for a big group like yours.
Yeah.
If you tried to book it in August or September, you'd never be able to get the sites.
No.
So you're compromised between having site availability and weather that you can tolerate. So there's a small window there.
There is, because everything through Labor Day, it's just, the parks are all just packed to the gills. And then as you get over that hump into late September, then things really start to loosen up. Especially the parks in the northern half of the state. If you're down south in the southern half, where near Milwaukee, Madison, the Dells, those you can't get into those parks until until the end of the beginning of October. But further north, it's usually not a problem. We should be able to find a nice big block of sites so that people can be together. So I'm really I'm looking forward to it. And I just see here on the chat, it'd be fun to drive up from Texas for it. It absolutely would.
It was a pretty good size. Yeah, it was a good sized group. I don't know what we had, 25 or 30 sites. And what surprised me, maybe you anticipated it, but I was surprised at the variance in the experience levels of the campers. Some of them are like maybe not even activated yet, but want to. I mean, they're absolute beginners. And then there were guys like, that have been to 100 parks and had all the experience. But you had a big mix there. And so a lot of people learned a lot of things from other campers.
Yes. And I was a little, when I started, when I put the word out, I was surprised by the number of people that were new to Parks on the Air and really wanted to, kind of, do an event like this to kind of get some of that experience and the feeling of how to do an activation. And I think that's really, it's really was amazing. I think we had like 30 a combined number of like 30 some activations at that park.
Yeah.
Just looking through the looking through the logs, or not the logs, but the all of the listings for the Northern Highlands, the state forest. So it was it was quite the treat. And Scout's looking forward to the smoked mac and cheese again. So that went fast. If you didn't get some of Travis's smoked macaroni and cheese, the first time you went through the line, you missed out.
There was a massive amount of food. It was, my wife, when I got home, my wife was kind of skeptical of how all these bachelors are all geek guys would have a buffet and it would be nothing but sausage, But there was a lot of stuff. There was
a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Oh, heck, it was. Yeah.
We had a good variety. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to doing it next year, and we'll I'll try to keep everybody posted on that as we move through the winter months, so that you can make your plans, make your arrangements, plan your days off to visit it'll be the second annual Wisconsin POTA Campout. That sounds nice. So, all right. We had I think I had another question here. Let's see. And it has something to do with it was a magic carpet question, so I thought we'd grab it quick. We're going to be talking more about the magic carpet a little bit later in the stream, but is there any benefit to using a magic carpet with the end-fed half wave? And of course, when we talk about the magic carpet, we mean the ground, the ground screen, like the window screen, or now the Faraday cloth that a lot of people like to use as opposed to conventional ground radials. And so the thought would be, well, would using a screen like that work well as your counterpoise? Yeah.
It would work. I mean, you don't need it.
No.
With the end fed, but we did a video. I've used that screen with my end fed.
Yes.
And for the sole purpose of turning it into a 80-meter quarter wave, because then you do need you need a ground plane or you need radials or something, because it's not an end-fed half wave at that point. It's a quarter wave vertical or a quarter wave semi-vertical on 80
Mm-hmm.
meters. Yeah.
And
But
yeah,
for a true end-fed, I don't think the screen would it wouldn't improve the performance of the end-fed. I don't think.
probably not for a great extent, but but like Dave said, if you bypass your transformer on your end-fed antenna and run that 60 some feet of wire directly to the ground side, to the screen, you've turned your 67 feet of wire into a quarter wave for the 80 meter band.
Yeah.
So it's
Yep.
it works in that regard.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really cool if you're camping. When the sun goes down and 80 meters starts to be viable,
Mm-hmm.
it's quick and easy without having to run any more wires or mess with the coils on the Wolf River or anything like that.
Yep, exactly, and it's so or to try to use a tuner to create a a highly inefficient 80 meter antenna out of your 40 meter half wave. So yeah, it's like I said, like Dave said, we got a video on how to turn your 40 meter end-fed half wave into an 80 meter quarter wave with the ground screen with the magic carpet. So you'll want to we released it about a month ago, so you'll want to check that out. It's not too far back in the archive. So okay, that's a great question. Let's see, we got a couple here that just came in. And John's asking, do I need to be concerned about rain or dew with a Wolf River coil on an overnight deployment? Thinking more about the coax connectors. I don't, the coil itself, I think is very water resistant. I've had one set up in my backyard for an entire winter as a vertical antenna. What I usually do is if it's going to rain, just take a roll of electrical tape and tape up the connector, and you'll be fine. I don't think you need to do anything more substantial than that with your Wolf River coil.
Yeah, the Wolf River coil will be fine. I get nervous about the PL 259s when they're getting soaking wet, because they're not designed to be in any way waterproof.
No, they're not.
So the worst thing that could happen would be the water seep through the PL 259 and then work its way up from a little ways into your coax, and then you got a problem.
Yeah, then your coax is pretty shot. So
yeah.
But I for a weekend, probably not, unless it, that's not going to be much of an issue unless it's, really raining, cats and dogs and things like that. But I usually,
if I'm going to hide my PL 259s, I just slip them in a Ziploc bag. If you have like a gallon size Ziploc, just enough that you can slide the connectors in there so they're not sitting in water or having rain directly fall on them. That's what I do. But
and I've done that too. I've put a plastic baggie over like my end-fed transformers and that, and I always keep a roll of electrical tape with me, with in my kit, so that if it's going to be raining, I can just a quick tape of the connector, and that's good. Brent's got an idea. He uses a water bottle that fits perfectly over the whip and the coil. And I think I might have recommended this to Brent because somebody recommended it to me. I don't remember, but yeah, like a 1 liter bottle. Just take cut the bottom off, and then put the top, put the antenna, the whip through the top, and then it's just like a little bitty umbrella for your coil.
Yeah.
And that works. I guess that works pretty good. So if you're gonna be out in the rain for a serious amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah, the rain wouldn't damage the Wolf River coil. You might be worried that it would short out a couple of the turns, as the water dripped down over the coil maybe, but there's nothing that's going to be damaged by being wet. It's No, it's just wire and plastic, whatever the core of the coil's made out of.
Yeah, yeah. So, and that's absolutely true. Yeah, I've had it out for an entire winter. I've had it coated with snow and ice and
Mhm.
rain and whatnot, and it doesn't. Yeah, the coil is fine. So that's not a concern. I know that they're designed to be used mobile. So, the guys, Gary and Larry, that build the things, they got the
Yeah,
things on the back of their cars. So,
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah,
so
yep.
the coil itself is going to take the weather. Yeah.
Right.
Another suggestion here, yeah, Callum. I think that's the DX Commander guy. He smears his connections with Vaseline.
Oh boy.
I don't. Yeah, I suppose if I don't have to remove it.
Yeah. You ever try to unscrew one of those things when it's covered with Vaseline?
Oh,
Yeah. Good, good luck with that.
yeah, coaxial. I've used that before. Have you ever tried to cut away that self-amalgamating tape off of a coax connector because somebody used it at a repeater site and you had to get the cable off the antenna?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Usually when it's 20 below zero. Yeah.
yeah. I had that job once. I wasn't on the tower. They had it. They actually, well, the coax had been cut, but I had that. Yeah, that goop had to get taken off, and I was, yeah, dinking at it with a linoleum knife. It was terrible.
Yeah. On an 80-degree day, it's really soft and gooey. But when it's
Hmm.
20 or 30 below zero, it's like cement.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, that's hard stuff. So, all right. I think I had another good question here, and let's see. Oh yeah, they're asking about with the Alpha Delta DXLB Plus fan dipole will be better over my G5 RV I'm currently using. Uh, and I'm not going to speak particularly towards the Alpha Delta because I really don't have any experience with that. But I would say probably a fan dipole is probably on the scale of efficiency. I would say probably the fan dipole is probably going to be a little bit more efficient than a G5 RV because the G5s are considered well, they're resonant on the 20-meter band, but then they're non-resonant on all those other bands.
Hmm.
And with your fan dipole, you're going to be, each element of the fan is going to be a resonant radiator. So
Yeah.
you've got that
Yeah.
going for you.
Well, I do have some experience with the DXCC. I inherited that from a deceased ham at one of these estate auctions. And he put it up in 1965. And he still had the manual and all that stuff. So I took this thing down, and that was probably 15 or 20 years ago. And I put it up at my location, and it's
Mhm.
still got all the original parts, the little resonators. Because mine is a DX, I think it's a DXCC. It's the one
Okay.
that's a full length 40, and then it's a shortened 80 because it has the coils on the end. And those coils are still hanging here in Wisconsin. I've not done anything to them other than like brush them off a little bit. And so that antenna's got to be 40 years, 50 years
No.
old, and it still works great on both 40 and 80. Way better than a G5 RV. Oh yeah,
Yeah. I mean, the G5 is a good antenna. That's one of my daily drivers. So there's nothing wrong with it once they're, if they're properly installed. But I think it's just that it's going to be a more efficient antenna. The fan dipole is
yeah.
because the elements are resonant elements. So.
Hmm. Yep. Yeah, it's really neat too how it shortens up the 80 meters because a full length 80-meter dipole is really long.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And you don't lose much because the part that's shortened is the low current far end. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's a great antenna.
Yeah, I know. I think we got a guy in our club that's got one of those, and he's always had I think he's worked DXCC on one of those. So Yeah, definitely a good antenna.
Mhm.
So, all right. Uh, let's see. Someone's asking a fox hunting question here. Watched a few. Jason says I watched a few of your fox hunting videos recently. First time I've seen a fox hunting in action. Great bids. Keep them coming. So yeah, you well, thanks. I'm glad you like it. Fox hunting's a lot of fun, and yeah, it's that tape measure. Build that tape measure Yagi antenna, and you know, it's a fun that's a fun little evening project, and you'll be well on your way to searching out for those foxes yourself. So, all right. Oh yeah, Mike's the guy that's got the DXCC. That's right. So he's got an Alpha Delta antenna at his house.
Mhm.
And I know, he's got a small residential lot, so it's just squeezed in there.
Yeah, yeah, and they've been making these things for 50 years, so
Oh, I know.
you know, it's priced right, and it's a great starter antenna for guys that
Yes.
are afraid to build their own. You know.
Mhm. Yeah, no, they're really good. They're really good antennas. I've seen um they've been around forever. So it's I've seen a lot of great reviews on those antennas. But all right. I know everybody, we're getting towards close to the bottom of the hour here. So, and I know everybody's kind of waiting with bated breath on what we're going to be doing for the giveaway. So but we just have one little housekeeping thing to do first before we get into that. And that is to recognize, all of the people that help, make Ham Radio Q&A, Ham Radio Outdoors, possible. They keep the wheels spinning on this crazy bus, and that is our patrons over at patreon.com. And I was just going to acknowledge the new patrons for the that have come in the last month on our supporter level. John Hopkins, good. Thank you so much for your support. And then on our the producer level, we have two new patrons, and I'm going to go from the bottom of the list here because that's Larry Taylor and Curtis Hustis. They're new associate producers. That's our top level. And then Cliff, Mark, Ron, Joel, Ken, Brian, Alex, and Rand that have been with us for a long time. And also Dave, Bill, Andy, Paul, Lyle, Michael, John, and the other Michael. So thank you so much for your support and your continued support, especially our associate producers. They're the ones that really help us keep things moving here on the channel. So I am entirely grateful for those support. You can also support the mission to educate and inspire the amateur radio community. That's over at patreon.com/KB9VBR antennas. And one of the nice things about being a patron is you do get early access to the videos, ad free. So I usually put those out about 24 hours before they get released to the public, so you can get that sneak preview before everybody else does, and you don't have to sit through the insufferable commercial breaks. Plus, there's other bonus content there. Yeah.
I see there's a question on here from Randall Rash.
Yeah.
Did you guys catch any of the SSTV passes last weekend? Was there a slow scan TV?
Yeah, let me see where I can find that. Randall. Yeah, there was the okay, so this was supposed to happen over on the first of the month, the beginning of October. They were supposed to be doing the International Space Station was going to be doing a slow scan test, and then it got delayed for like 2 weeks. And then I thought they were talking about having it mid-month, and then it got delayed a little bit more. And now this last week, they finally did the slow scan test because they had installed. I think they did some reconfigurations with the digipeater, the station up there, amateur station. So that's why they were going to have just a week long slow scan event. I didn't catch any of them. I was upset. That's wrong.
Wow.
I didn't catch any of them. I was busy, but I did see some. I did see some people post some images of some of the the ISS passes. When they received the slow scans. So they did it last week. So
Was it because if it was on the weekend, it must have been brutal because the single sideband. Oh, jeepers! What was the big contest over the weekend? The DX single sideband contest on 20 meters was insane.
yeah.
And I think they used 20 meters for those. Oh, maybe not.
No,
Maybe
they don't.
the space station. You're right. The space station doesn't use HF. I don't think.
No. It's 2-meter FM.
Yeah.
So yeah, they would be in the clear.
Yeah.
But yeah, CQWW was last weekend. So anybody participate in that?
Cool. Yeah.
I did not. I'm pretty casual when it comes to contesting. So I was not I just sort of avoided it. Hung out on. I made a few POTA contacts on 17 meters. Actually, 17 meters was really crazy last weekend. The DX stations that didn't want to get involved with CQWW were hanging out on 17.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which I thought was pretty funny. But yeah, clear as a bell. I was hearing Ireland, Great Britain, and there was another English speaking European station. I can't remember. So,
hey, big CW contest this weekend, Michael. This will be your chance.
Yeah. So yeah, 17 meters saved the weekend. That's right. That's CQ Worldwide CW is this weekend, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Now that you're becoming an expert at CW, I'm sure you'll be here.
I do it just like I do it just like the contesters do. F1, F1, F2, F1,
Yeah,
F1, F2.
Yeah. Hey, it works. Don't knock it. Right?
That's right. Okay, well, we're at the bottom of the hour here, and like I promised, we're gonna talk about some giveaways. So, and it has to do with the new publication that the league, the ARRL, has put out, and that's the Parks on the Air book. So, let me see if I can move this here. So. There we go. The Parks on the Air book. I don't know. Is anybody else on the channel, have they received their copy of the book yet? Ordered their copy and gotten it? As I know that the league is now shipping them, because I've seen some people mention it. I got a pre-publication copy or an early copy because I got my smiling mug right here.
Yeah. Yes, he does.
As Scott says, yeah, who's that?
Yeah. There's a word for that. I think what is it? Eye candy or clickbait or something like that.
Clickbait. What did I tell you yesterday? It's you can't sell the steak without the sizzle. So
yeah,
I'm the sizzle here.
We'll see. I got mine ordered. My credit card got charged, but I haven't got the book yet. So
yeah, it's a really good book, and I'm just going to pull up some pages here because the league did share with me some PDF pages that we could in promoting it, and because I am the cover the cover boy, I guess. Yeah, Steve wants to know if the camper made the cover. No, it did not.
Yeah.
So
yeah, ask Michael if he's in the centerfold.
Yeah, well, no, I'm not. But there's a lot of great. this book is really awesome, and I think it's a little bit of a departure from some of the other league publications, because instead of written by one author, there's like a dozen or so contributors here, and they all have their own unique perspective on Parks on the Air,
Mhm.
which is which is really, that's the whole thing. What Parks on the Air is all about, because it's different things to different people. So, I mean, we have chapters on how to become a hunter. There's a chapter dedicated to CW, and then some of the fun things you can do with Parks on the Air. 13 parks in 4 days by Kevin W1DED. Advantages of wire antennas, big benefits from small stations. You don't need a big station to be to be an activator, or even a hunter for that matter, too. So 36 parks in 12 states in 21 days. Our buddy Jeff did polite operation, and then operate anywhere. Pikes Peak, urban parks, QRP, 10,000 parks. That's our buddy Clint, W9AV, down in Muscadet.
Madison. Yeah.
Yeah, Madison, Muscadet. He's one of the, I think I don't think he's the leader, but on the leaderboard, the top person on the leaderboard. He's one of the top people on the leaderboard for hunters. Satellite operations, 365-day activations. So it's really cool.
Mhm.
I was, paging through this book, reading this book. I was really amazed on the quality of the of the authorship, and of the information in it. Beautiful pictures of,
Yeah, a lot of photos. Yep.
yeah. I mean, wouldn't you like to activate these places? I've done stuff like that. Not that
Hmm.
location, but just sitting, sitting on the lake, the shores of like Lake Superior or some other small lake in northern Wisconsin. So it's
Yep.
yeah, it's it's totally amazing. More great pictures. Um, I think
Yeah.
a lot of these pictures were contributed by, if you remember, I don't remember his call sign, Cody Beer. You see him on the Parks on the Air groups a lot. uh, so yeah, it's a good book.
Yeah,
Uh,
you know what I think it clearly demonstrates the variety that's out there, the different techniques that people have, the different equipment that they have. There's no one size fits all. When you're in these Facebook face groups, sometimes people ask the question like, "What is the radio?" Well, there is no the radio. There's lots of radios, and
yep.
there's lots of antennas, and there's lots of operating techniques, and this book clearly demonstrates it. There's 18 different people I think that contributed to this,
Yeah.
and I went and I pulled up on my log this afternoon. I put all 18 of those call signs in, and remarkably, I've worked 14 of the 18 people that have contributed
No
to this
kidding.
book. Yeah, yep.
No kidding. That's great. It's a yeah, no, it's an inspiring book, and I've really, I've been in Parks on the Air for a very long time, and I've found information in here that's you know useful to me, new and useful to me. So it's yeah, it's a good book. And with that, it's brings us to, I'm just going to break in here and talk about our prize bundle, because the ARRL provided me with this early copy on the hopes that I would promote it. They also provided us with some great gifts to give away on the live stream this evening, and that's going to be the portable prize pack, courtesy of the ARRL. So if you have not ordered your own copy of the Parks on the Air book, you could win one tonight. And you get so the package includes the book, the league's mini logbook, a ham bumper sticker, and then the piece de resistance, the 49-to-1 end-fed half-wave antenna kit that the ARRL sells.
Oh yeah.
You've put that antenna together.
Oh man, that is a sweet end fed. I bought that thing from the league about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And we've done a couple of videos on that. But it's a real easy build. Anybody can build that thing, and it works like a champ. I think the league sells it for like $80 too. It's a nice prize.
So yeah, $80, 20 for the book, and then the log book. Yeah, this is like over $100 value here. And to get in, what you need to do is, and we got some people already entering. Give us the hashtag POTA, POTA. Throw that into the chat, and we'll let this go for about 20 minutes at 8:00 p.m. We will we'll draw a winner. So stick around. Do not leave. If you put in a POTA in the chat, do not leave, because I want to give this stuff away, and I don't want to have to chase you down.
Yeah. Is it one of those deals where you have to be present to win? Or...
Yes, you must be present to win. So we'll just throw this up. Ever enter to win by leaving that contact. And for those that and now even to make the deal even better, for those that haven't ordered the book yet, didn't win, I can show both. Use when you order the book between now and November 15th, use coupon code KB9VBR during the checkout, and you'll get free shipping. So
yeah,
man,
yeah. Thanks, Michael. I've ordered mine on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should have told you to wait. Because I didn't get the code until like yesterday. So
yeah, right. Yeah. That shipping was like $7 too, by the way. So yeah.
Oh, shipping is terrible. Yeah, shipping is terrible. So yeah, if anybody's, I see a lot of POTAs in the chat here. If anybody's got any questions about the book, we'd love to. We'll chat about those. But I'll leave throw the word POTA in the chat for your chance to win. Coupon code KB9VBR to get free shipping, and hopefully hopefully we'll get a winner. So we'll in about 10 minutes or so, we will we'll draw that. We'll draw a name for the portable prize pack. So with that, but 45 says, make it easy on yourself. You just got my QSL card, and you know what I did, and I just sent out. So if you saw my smiling mug on the book, I also got new QSL cards made with the same smiling mug on there on the cards. So we'll just embiggen that there. So from this, I just sent out a batch today. And in fact, I've got 45's card here. Thank you so much for the QSL. We got a lot of great cards that came in over the last few weeks. This one is another favorite of mine. This was from Don, KG5ISG. This is like a hand-sketched card of his activation. That was over at en route to Cerro Pendarno. I can't read the numbers. K4517 in New Mexico. So I love these kind of cards. I really treasure cards like that. So KE5STI. So thanks a lot, everybody, for the cards. I love them. I really do love getting those QSL cards, and everybody that sends me a card, and of course we'll get a return card. We got some stickers too that we usually throw in. So that's yeah. Thanks everybody for the QSO cards, especially you 45 there. It's always good to grab those cards. So, okay, we got like 62 entries coming in so far. So, yeah, get those in. If you want to win the portable prize pack, we're going to be drawing those in a few minutes. So be sure to put hashtag POTA into the chat there, so you could get entered into the drawing, and we'll let that run. So, all right. Well, Dave, while that's going on, I know we did get a couple of questions here. Let's see.
I'm curious if a lot of your viewers have been out activating the new parks that have been recently added to the POTA map here in the United States.
That is a good question. Yeah, it's was it October? Yeah, mid-October they lifted the restriction, the moratorium, and all of those new parks have all of a sudden are kind of flooding the flooding the best way to flooding the database. And I think even in the state of Wisconsin here, the Ryan, our mapping coordinator, he added something like 80 new entities.
Yeah.
So
yep, and it's been on hold for a couple of years, so there's people have been waiting. So I got to think they've been out there beating the bushes. I know I've hit several new ones, and it's pretty cool.
I've been getting new ones. A lot of the new ones usually start with a 9, 9 something, or now they broke the 5-digit barrier. So 1,000 or 10,000 something. So it's it's really it's really neat to get those new parks. Although now it's I thought I had about a third of the parks in the state of Wisconsin already activated, and now with all those new ones, it's my percentage has gone way down.
The nice thing though is that some people were really and not in a great spot, and it's the nearest park maybe was an hour away, and so hopefully now maybe there's 2 or 3 parks that are within in an hour.
I got 2 new parks that are within 20 minutes of my home now, which is really nice. State Trail, and actually a couple state trails. So it's that's that. Yeah, 2. Was it a fishery and a state trail within 20 minutes, and then another state trail that's with a little over a half-hour drive. So, pretty good deal.
Yep.
I know that as the World Amateur Day says, this is perfect timing for the new parks. Absolutely. I think this infusion of new entities it's just going to really rock the program and take it to the next level. So that let's see. W5 was I asked Texas for a new park, was treated like it was on a moon landing. Not a good experience. Well, that's terrible to hear. So unfortunately, it's a volunteer run organization, and not all volunteers are of the same level of enthusiasm. Yeah, for sure. So that's terrible to hear. Need to find the new parks that were added to Indiana. The easiest way to look for new parks is if you go. Let's see if I can pull up the. I'll just. Let's see if we can bring my screen back up. The easiest way to find the parks is if you go to the POTA page. On the menu, go down here to Park List, and then it's got everybody. So if I should be able to type Indiana. Come on, it's slow because it's a big list. Come on. There we go. Okay. And then you can sort by reference.
I'd sort it by number, because the new parks have huge numbers. The really high numbers.
And it looks like the top number in Indiana is 7843, which is probably,
that would not be a new one.
No, that's not. Yeah, that's already gotten 49 activations. So, unfortunately, no, the new parks haven't been added to Indiana yet, which is unfortunate. So, let me get my cursor back here. All right. So hopefully they'll get those. Yeah, each state has got their own mapping coordinators, and they seem to be all running on a different time scale. So yeah, and as Don says, yeah, if I did the legwork and submitted the park's name map and linked to the Minnesota DNR website, the coordinator ended them with hours. So that's great. Yeah, our coordinator he had been collecting maps or entities for the last year, and he was just building a list of them so that when the moratorium was lifted, he had everything kind of pre-screened and ready to go. So he was just able to push that list at a moment's notice. But I know others did not. So
here in Wisconsin, we have a plethora of bicycle trails, abandoned rail beds that have been converted to bike trails. And also, as you would imagine, in northern Wisconsin, we're just riddled with state wildlife areas.
Yes.
And some of them are tiny, some of them are big, but there are a lot of them. And Ryan has got a lot of them designated now.
Yep. We can have work now. Joe says we can have worked all trails. So good to see Joe is here in the background. I know he's been out of town weekdays working, so he's holed up in a motel somewhere in in the state. So at least we're giving him a little bit of entertainment.
Yeah, he's probably got a six-pack. He doesn't need any entertainment.
Yeah, there you go. Eric down in Hawaii's got an ever-growing spreadsheet with everything needed. So hopefully we can get those new Hawaiian parks added soon. So
yeah, I'll be Eric. I'll be there in January again.
So well, there you go. It had a K1000. Looks like the sort was alphabetic, not numeric. Oh, maybe I sorted the parks wrong. So did they get? Oh, you know what?
Oh yeah, they.
I did look wrong. I am. This is terrible. Okay, so yeah, if I would have scrolled down a little bit and seen these past these zero parks. There, yep. Here's all the new ones. 10,177.
Yep.
There's a whole bunch of new ones on there. So, and a few of them haven't been activated yet. So go to it. Yep, the ones with the leading zero. I was looking at. I didn't scroll down far enough. So, thanks a lot for catching my error. All right.
Joe says no time for a six-pack. What is he doing?
He's in Appleton. He's like dismantling a paper machine or something. So it's a big industrial process. It's not a lot of fun from what I hear.
Yeah, and it's dangerous too. So don't drink that six-pack after that.
There we go. So, all right, good deal. Couple more. Yeah, we're getting towards the end of the time before we're gonna draw there. But just to remind everybody that's checked in a little late here, if you want to win the portable prize pack courtesy of the ARRL, leave a comment with hashtag POTA to enter. We're going to be drawing in about 5 minutes. I know one person was asking, what was that antenna? That's an end-fed half-wave kit that the ARRL sells. Yep. So it's a nice. Dave, you've got that antenna.
I
So,
do. I bought it from the ARRL. I put it together. It comes with everything you need, including the wire for 40 through 10 meters.
mhm.
Um, I've actually modded the wire a little bit to make it work on 80 meters too. Just make the wire longer.
Yeah. So it's not that difficult to assemble. It's
No, no, it's a one night project, really.
yep.
And you don't need really good soldering skills or anything. It's and it is a performer. It works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's nothing more rewarding than to get an antenna, that you built yourself on the air, even if it is a kit. So
Yeah.
that's
Oh yeah,
that's
absolutely. The
mhm.
instructions are really good, and the housing is really solid. It's waterproof. I've used it all winter long. It tolerates the 30, 40 below zero. It's a great. I love it.
Yep, yep. So good deal, good deal. Yeah, and then yeah, the other prizes are the Parks on the Air book, of course. And we got a copy here. We've been talking about that. A mini logbook and a ham radio bumper stickers. So we'll be drawing that in a second. But, all right. So we'll give everybody I think yeah, I think our uh, people entries are starting to certainly kind of uh, trickle down, trickle away here. So it's
So is Joe eligible to win?
I would think so. I think he's eligible to win.
I didn't see that. I didn't see the hashtag POTA by his.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, Bill says he's a hunter, just hit 300, got me back into the hobby. I've heard a lot of people say that Parks on the Air has just gotten them really reinvigorated in ham radio. And that's kind of your story too, Dave, isn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Mhm.
you know, uh, it's amazing once you get out there and you start working a pileup. It's like being a DX entity. It's an adrenaline rush.
Mhm.
Pretty soon you're hooked. See on the list, there's 13,000 um, 13,000 activators that have turned in at least one log.
Mhm.
So I think when I started, there were about 3,000 of us, and I see on the hunter list there are over 39,000 registered people on POTA that show up on that
Jeez.
hunter list. And I'm sure there are more hunters that haven't even bothered to register.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So yeah. And yeah, it's just totally crazy. It really is. It's the Parks on the Air has really taken the world by storm, and I think a publication like this is probably um, just that's testament to the how the whole program has taken off, and it's just really um, ener- energized ham radio, as
yeah,
Scott says. It's like it's like Pokemon for nerds.
yeah. And the Facebook groups, there are about two or three, maybe four Facebook groups dedicated to POTA.
Yep.
And I think probably a third of the postings on my Facebook newsline are POTA related. And
Oh yeah.
guys are, it's everything. It's guys giving out advice. It's guys saying things that worked well or didn't work well. It's very, very active on Facebook.
Yeah, yeah. One of the main drivers, here to get his ticket. Um, yeah, it's it takes me back to being a kid, tuning through the band, just listening. It's fun actually. I was working down in the shack this morning. I had the radio on, just kind of cruising up and down and listening to another activator do his thing. So it's yeah, it's it, it can be therapeutic too. So
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't too long ago when you turn the radio on and you'd call CQ, CQ, CQ for an hour and no one would respond, and you're like, jeepers, well, how much
Yeah.
fun is this? And
Yep.
POTA has changed all of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, all right. Well, it's 8 o'clock, and I know people are waiting, and I can't talk anymore about this. We got to move on. So this is going to be the last call for the drawing, and get your get the hashtag POTA in, and I am going to hit this draw button here, and we're going to see who our winner is. So you ready, Dave?
I can't wait.
We got a drum roll. I should have loaded some sound effects. Here we go. And
I hope it's not some international guy that's going to cost you a fortune to mail it to.
K4ZMF Backcountry Adventures. I think I've seen his channel. It's a pretty cool one too. So, all right. They're going to drop ship it, so I don't have to worry about postage.
Oh, okay.
K4ZMF, are you out there? So, hey, all right. Interface with me. Hit me an email, kb9vbr@yahoo.com, and we'll get you. We'll get you all hooked up with the POTA portable prize pack. I can't say that 5 times fast. All right, that's great. This is fun. I actually had a giveaway that was successful. So okay.
Yeah, that's a sweet package, man. I wish I had another one of those end feds. Man, I'd put one up permanently here at my house if I had a second one.
Well, you should build one. I got the parts. We'll get you hooked up. So
all right. Promises.
All right. So, well, thanks a lot, everybody, for playing. It's great. You can still use coupon code KB9VBR at the checkout to get free shipping on the Parks on the Air books. So we'll leave that running for the next second. Oh, Nathan says we'll maybe do a J-Pole holiday season. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll see if we can get some holiday gifts put together for the December live stream. So stay tuned for that. But I did get a question here from, and it was POTA related. Maurice asked, an old fart ham coming back into the hobby, starting from ground zero with logging. What do you recommend for a logging program? I run Windows and Android, hoping to start POTA. There's a couple of different ways you can go about things with computerized logging. I think the most popular Windows-based logging program is probably for POTA is probably Hammers, HAMRS. And we'll pull that up. I'll pull that up on the screen here because that's what I use for my my park logging, and it's free. I think there's a slight cost if you download it from the App Store, but it's multi-platform, so you can run it on Windows, you can run it on Linux, you can run it on your Android device, no problem there, and it works really well. It's simple, straightforward. It produces a clean log for to submit to the database. So it's good there. The only thing I don't like about it is that the author of the program has stepped away from it for a little bit because life gets in the way, family things. So there's a few bugs that could be fixed, but so development is just starting to stagnate a little bit, but it's solid otherwise, and it works. And now, Dave, you use a little bit different logging program for your activation, so why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, well, I spent a little bit of money on a really good electronic logging. N3FJP is just fabulous. If you're into contesting at all, it's awesome. He's got logs for just about every contest you can imagine, and uh, and he's got a template for POTA now also. But I've been using N3FJP for years. Um, the other one that's a contesting log that works for POTA too is N1MM Plus,
Yep.
and N1MM Plus is free. And the N3FJP, I think it's like oh gosh, I don't even know what it costs now, maybe $50 or something.
I think it's $50 for you get all of the contest logs, you get the general log and
And
updates.
the and the updates are just endless. I mean,
Yeah.
he's always bringing out another contest log, and these contests are always changing the rules, and so he's updating the specific logs to conform to the current rules. I don't know how he does it, honestly, but
They
but
put a lot of work. Yeah, they put a lot of work into that. So it's yeah. So those are really the two. I think
mhm.
the two big POTA Parks on the Air logging applications that
Yeah,
that are out
I think
there.
if you're going to take a like a little notebook or laptop computer out into the field, I highly recommend the N3FJP. If you're going to do it on your phone, if you're going
Mhm.
to do it on your Android or whatever, then Hammers probably is the way to go.
It's probably you're probably right. So it's so those are two options. I think those are that probably of people everybody that are using computers for logging. That probably satisfies about 90% of their of everybody that's logging, and then the other 10% is whatever else is out there.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's yeah, it's that's what we're using. So
Yeah.
yeah, well, good thing. Yeah, good we got you on. Glad we got you on the right direction now. So.
And then Michael still uses pencil and paper. I saw him doing it yesterday.
So Dave and I were out on we were out on an activation together, and he came over. He was visiting uh, up north, so we were yeah we went up to one of the new state trails to activate, and I had my computer on the charger with every intention to grab it, and I did not. So, yeah, it's yeah. Uh, so I had to use my pen and paper to activate, and
Yeah. And guess who his log got uploaded
oh,
fastest?
yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, I didn't get it done until after dinner when I sat down and I had to transcribe um into the computer, but it didn't
Yeah.
take me too long. So
But that made you the fourth activator and me the third. So I got that going for me now.
you only had 52 contacts. I had to do 80, so that was that extra 30 that took the time
Oh
for
yeah,
me.
yeah. But POTA is not a contest, Michael.
Yep, yep. All right. So,
Hey, tell them we got 10 bands.
oh
We
yeah,
got we got 10 bands for our N1CC. That was pretty sweet.
yep, we did that. Of course, Dave and I were sitting in the truck because it was a little chilly. So dummy load the dummy load, 10 band and 1cc.
That's probably illegal. We shouldn't tell anybody about that.
It's like shooting fish in a barrel, isn't it?
Yes, it
All right, so good deal. I got a question here that came on email, and I thought this would be a good one to kind of share with you, Dave, because it's I know you've got some opinions on this, but Marco Topaz asks, I have the same radio. He's talking in regards to the FT891. I heard you mention that you're running 50 watts. Is there a reason that you dialed down the output wattage? And thanks for your wisdom. So,
Mhm.
um, for when you're out running portable, you really don't need a whole lot of power. And the people that run QRP do just as well as the people that run barefoot. I choose to run most of the time. I choose to run 50 watts with on HF because I find that to be a good balance between uh, power output and battery life.
Yeah.
With 50 watt transmit power, I'm drawing about 7-8 amps sideband, and so it's I can use a small 12 amp hour battery, or my 20 amp hour battery will last all day. Get a couple hours out of my 12 amp hour battery and all day out of my 20. So that's the reason why I like to dial the power down. But I know, Dave, you like to go even lower than that.
I do. I take it to the next level. I very seldom activate with more than 15 watts. Yesterday we were both sitting in the truck, and I was running CW with 10 watts,
Mhm.
and he had 10 on the back of the truck. That I had was a shark stick, and on 20 meters, if you get spotted on the POTA page, these guys will come and find you. If you're running 1 watt and they can barely hear you, they
Oh
will
yeah,
find you.
oh yeah.
So it's not like the old days where you just pick a frequency and you go CQ, 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 and for hours and hours, and you hope that someone just wanders by. With POTA, once you're on the spotting page, they're coming to look for you, and they know where you are,
Mm-hmm.
and that changes the whole game as far as the challenges of low power. So, so yesterday I was running 10 watts CW with a 6 amp hour, LiPo 4 battery. And I came home and then put it back on the charger. It took like 20 minutes and it was charged up again.
Yep. So
So,
you're ready to go.
yeah, so I'm a big fan of low power. Now, CW, of course, you can get by with a little bit less,
Yep.
but, run FT8 or PSK 31, the same deal, 10 watts, that's all you need.
Yep.
And even,
Yep.
and even on with single sideband, if the bands are open and you're spotted, 20 watts just creates a huge pileup. So I'm a big fan of the lower power.
I run, when I run digital FT8, I dial it down to 20 watts because that being a full duty cycle mode, that really chews the battery otherwise. So
Yeah.
Eric, and you can always take it down. Yeah, I say, like you said, you can always take it down, one level lower. So
Yeah. When I'm on a pileup, especially on 20 meters, 20 meters is like, I mean, it's just like draws flies. It's just, and so the pileup gets so big that it's difficult to manage. And your best friend for trying to manage that pileup is the power knob on your radio. Because if you dial it down to where only a few guys can hear you, it's much easier to work them.
yep,
You know,
yep. I
and,
got
and I think the hunters get less frustrated too, because if they can hear me, there's a good chance I'm going to hear them, and a good chance they're going to get worked pretty quickly. So
Yep, exactly. Buddy 45 says low power is a lot easier for the activator than for the hunters. That is probably the case. I know, listening to the pileups, I hear a lot of amplifier clicks and fans in the background, and
yeah, yeah,
so a lot of those people are running power, and sometimes I'll take the person that floats to the top of the pileup, and then sometimes I like to work around the edges. A
yeah,
person that gets in, so that I'm not favoring the kilowatt every time, and I always make sure to grab, just to take that pause and see if the QRP stations are out there, because they are, they otherwise they get buried in that mess.
yeah. It's real common in a pileup. You'll hear a partial call, so you'll come back and you'll say like the Whiskey Alpha question mark station, and they were very light. You could just barely hear them. And when they come back to you, they're like S9.
Yeah,
Whoa! wow, where did Whiskey Alpha 6-2, and yeah, so you know that when they saw the question mark, they know that I'm having a hard time pulling them out. Then they kick that kilowatt on, and holy smoke! Yeah,
Eric was in DC last month, a 10-watt sideband, enough to make 2,600 QSOs in 6 days. I saw that video you did, Eric, and that's a pretty amazing haul. So it's I don't know how you had time to do your work with that much, driving around and that many QSOs.
yeah,
That's a great showing. So it's
yeah.
yeah. So
Imagine trying to do that like 6 years ago before POTA,
mhm.
and you're running what did you say, 10 watts single sideband? And he worked 1,000 guys or something. Try doing that without spotting yourself and without parks on the air, hunters looking for you. It
Well,
doesn't happen. It
it
just
was
doesn't happen.
it was a challenge. I know Joe and I did a little bit, back in 2016, did a little bit of the national parks on the air. And yeah, even running, we weren't spotting ourselves running 100 watts lead acid batteries. And yeah, I think, we went through a lot of battery power to
Yeah, yeah,
that weekend. So
yeah. And when they set the bar at 10 contacts for an activation, that was not a given back then.
no.
Now that's an 8-minute process, if you get spotted.
Exactly. Yeah, KH6 brings the hams to the air. Exactly. They're wondering why they heard you so loud. That's great. That's great. So, yeah. So pick a power that works well for you. If you need to run barefoot, run barefoot. If you need to tone it down, to conserve your battery life, you're still gonna be aces. So
That's why I love my G90.
yeah, I had another person there who said that. Yeah, I love the G90 is a great POTA rig. Well, I'm going to a ham fest this weekend, and my goal for the last I'd say 3 or 4 ham fests that I've been to is I'm trying to find something QRP that I can kind of expand into. And I've been, I mean, the holy grail for me is a nicely priced KX2 or KX3 for that matter. I think the 2 is a little more in my budget, but yeah, Yaesu, a clean 817 or a Yaesu 818 or something like that. So
Yeah. What's amazing there's a lot of things amazing about that G90, but for battery life, it's so sweet because on the receive mode, it draws like half an amp, maybe
yeah,
not even a half of an amp. And at full bore 20 watts, it's still only about 5.5 amps. So you don't need much of a battery to run all day long with that thing.
no,
So
no, I like that. Like a scout here, Shane. I don't know if he's still hanging in the chat, but I like that little bitty backpack kit he's got with his 818. And I just want something. I think something super small like that would be just a lot of fun to get out there and do some QRP activations with just a minimal amount of equipment. So
yeah, those ICOM 705s have become very popular.
yeah, they're nice too. I think they're a little bit. The form factor is a little bit different than the other 2 that I'm looking at. But yeah, that might be an option if I can find one that's in my budget. So.
Well, the KX2 is not going to be the December giveaway. I'll tell you that.
No, it's not. It's no. So we'll see. It's Nathan was asking which one, the Milwaukee. That's not going to be the Milwaukee Ham Fest. That's on Saturday. Sunday I'm going to be in Neenah at the Fox Cities Amateur Radio Club. So, I should go to Milwaukee on Saturday and then Neenah on Sunday. I could make a weekend of it. Yeah, the 705 isn't much, and I think that's the problem I got with the 705 is that it isn't much cheaper than new. although the Elecraft is expensive also, but I think a used depending on the options, of course, might be priced a little bit better than a new 705. So I don't know. Maybe if I can't find anything, I might have to settle for the Zygu, the G90.
Well, you saw the G90 in my truck, with the
Yep.
separation of the head and you can put that thing in there really easy.
Yep. Yep.
Little bitty battery and away you go.
Yep. 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 Scout's still here. Dave hit the nail on the head with the QRP. So, and I think it's the 891 is a great rig, but it's when you throw it into a bag and you got to walk, a quarter mile to where you need to be, it's heavy. It's heavy.
Yeah. The thing that frustrates me a little bit about my 891 is the current draw just in the receive mode.
Mm-hmm.
I wish it's great radio. I love it. I use it a lot, but I wish it had a little lower current draw in the receive mode.
Yeah. Yeah. I think somebody else said the X6100. I haven't thought about that one. I know when I was at Superfest last month, I looked at the Lab. Was it the Lab 599? And that's about the same size, the form factor as those 6100s. But that was a really cool radio, and definitely priced a little. I think it's priced a little bit high for what it is, but it's still cheaper than a comparable Elecraft. So
that built-in battery on the 6100 that's appealing.
They got a built-in battery? Oh wow.
Yeah.
So that might not be a bad idea then. I'll have to. Well, and then I'll put that in my mental checklist if I see somebody, because I don't think they were that expensive compared to.
It's more expensive than the G90.
Yeah, more than a G90, but less than say a used 818, 818 or something like that. So,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. So okay. So all right, that's gonna have to keep that one in mind. But, I picked up the Zygu 6100 recently. Tried a bit of love it, so yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. Oh, Mark's got a 705. I might have to. I know. He lives relatively close to me. I might have to check that out too. Well, if I don't find anything at the Ham Fest, I might be knocking on some doors and test driving some rigs.
Yeah. You didn't talk on my G90 yesterday. I don't think.
No.
In fact, no. When we were on sideband, we were on your 891, weren't we?
Yeah, we were. So
you got to try that sometime when we're out. You can use my G90.
I think, was it when we were out a couple years ago? I don't remember if I used it or not, but yeah, I'll have to take a look at it, but a little bit deeper. Oh man. So, well, we're coming close to the end of things, and I know that if Joe was here, he would, there's always something that kind of.
You know what really grinds my gears?
But since he's not here, we're gonna have to do the grinding ourselves. And you, Dave, we were, like I said, we were out yesterday, and we were doing activation, and after the activation, we were having lunch, and you mentioned a really interesting thing that you found, that not all hunters, Parks on the Air hunters, no, excuse me. Activators. Not all Parks on the Air activators are uploading their logs, and hunters are getting upset about this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's a problem that I've run across on Facebook with some guys grumbling that, such and such person, they've contacted them like 10 times over the last 3 or 4 months, and that they never get spotted on the or they never get credit on their POTA site.
Yeah.
And that's that that is one of the shortcomings of the logging process for POTA is totally dependent on the activator.
Yep.
So the hunter can hunt all day long, and he can work, however many stations he wants, but he does not turn in a log.
No.
And so if the activator drops the ball, and the rumor is that there's a few guys out there that are just activating for the fun of it and not taking the time and minimal effort to upload their logs, and
Mm-hmm.
that could be a problem. I hope it's not a widespread thing, because we need the hunters. That's what makes activating fun. We
Yeah,
can't
you
let
need.
those guys get frustrated. So,
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And it's if you don't have the hunters, then then you're shouting into the giant void. But it's also it's kind of it's like a social contract almost. I think it's the best way to kind of describe it.
mhm.
So you go out there, you activate a park, you give everybody the contacts, and then afterwards, in a timely manner, you have to get your logs uploaded. And I know that there's a few, activators they may take their time, maybe like a week or so. Back in the days before self-uploading, it used to take ages. They said, don't even ask us until it's been 30 days or something like that, or some obscene number, 2 weeks. And now, if you don't see anything 24 hours after after the contact, you start to wonder. But
Yeah,
I know if I've had instances. I've been out for a weekend, and it's you don't get them up until maybe like Monday or something like that. And or if you're on an extended trip, you may not want to be, you might want to take the time to kind of go through and make sure everything's correct before you upload them. So
yeah,
you don't get that. Yeah, you don't get that immediacy that some people want,
yeah.
but
But
still.
it's not fair to the hunters if we're out there activating and we have absolutely no intentions of ever
Mhm.
uploading the log. That can't happen.
No, no,
So,
no. So you got to be timely. It's try to at the first reasonable opportunity, you got to get the log uploaded. If you start to get emails from people, you know and it's been like more than a week, then that's probably a good indicator that you need to you need to get that log uploaded.
yeah,
And if you've got no intention to upload, and you just want to go out to a park and have fun, well, then don't be a
don't
hunter.
don't
Yeah,
spot yourself on
don't
the
spot
spotting
yourself.
page if
Yeah.
you're not. No, no. And as an activator, maybe you're not an award chaser or paper chaser, and you don't care about awards, and that's all great. But some of these hunters do,
Yep,
and
absolutely.
you're doing them a disservice by depriving them of the recording of that contact. So
Hmm. Absolutely. So yeah, if you don't, if you don't, yeah, if you're not in it for the awards, that's okay. You know, don't look at the awards that are automatically generated. But there are people, there are people that they want, they want their acknowledgement that they hit the parks. So
yep,
yeah, but
yep.
I think, yeah, Eric says here he's got people emailing asking why they haven't received credit while they were still at the park. I don't think I've ever had it that bad. So now that's a little crazy.
Yeah.
Now, Robert uploads before he leaves the park. For some reason, I don't. I don't. It's, I guess, internet, wireless activity, action. Internet's not a guarantee at every spot you're at, and
Yep.
I'd rather wait till I get home so I can double check, just make sure everything is correct before I shoot that log off. So yeah, it might be a few hours or an evening or something, you know, by the time it hits. But
Yeah. Yeah. Just don't be one of those guys that doesn't log and ever upload.
Yeah, yeah. That's for sure. That's for sure. It's yeah, I try to get mine in within 24 hours, and I'd say probably about 99% of mine are in that fast. So it's yeah, that's a crazy world we live in. I guess that people want that either people want that immediacy, or there's people that don't give a rip about following up after they do something. So crazy. All right. So, well, Dave, did you have fun tonight?
Yeah. Oh, it's always a good time. I'm always glad when they're happy to see Joe call in sick. Not that I want Joe. Not that I want Joe to be
Joe's
sick.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was good. We had a lot of really good conversations, and I got some great content that's coming up in November here. Like I said, Dave and I did an activation yesterday. We'll probably see that one in about a week or so. I got some antennas that one that I bought, and then another one somebody sent me. So we're hoping to get some reviews in before it gets too cold and snowy here. Otherwise, it might get a little bit tricky. The one thing I think it's we're coming up towards the holiday season, so usually around that Thanksgiving time, I like to do my annual gift guide, ham radio gifts that you can surreptitiously play for your significant other, so they get an idea of what they need to get you for Christmas. So I know
Hey, Michael, I don't think I told you, but last Christmas, my wife had watched that video, which is unbelievable in itself because she's not a ham,
Yep.
and she's not crazy about these videos. But she watched that one, and she actually bought me two of the, I think, 10 things that you listed on there. And yeah.
So
Yeah.
Dave, what do you want this year under the tree? Let me know.
Yeah. I got to think about that.
So yeah, look for that towards the end of the month. I don't know. Thanksgiving comes early this year, so I don't know if it's going to be before Thanksgiving or after Thanksgiving, but we'll see how the schedule flies. And then our December live stream will be Thursday, December 7th. We'll get out some of that grog, that snowshoe grog that Joe likes so much. We'll put on our funny hats and our little Santa hats, and we'll have a good time. So, John in North Carolina wants to know how the CW in the park effort is going with me. So it's.
Oh yeah. We worked CW yesterday, but I think Michael didn't participate in that.
I gotta, man. My CW macros got erased to my rig. I gotta put those back in. So that's on my list of things to do, and work on my comprehension a little bit better. So now that it's getting, we're spending more time indoors and less time outdoors. That's definitely going to be happening in the next couple months. So you can expect by spring, if I get that QRP rig, we're gonna have to be going CW with it. So.
I was looking at your stats last night on the POTA page, and I think you have 11 CW contacts now. I think.
Is it that many? Holy smokes!
I maybe I think it's 11 now. Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna have to work on that. So straight key night's coming up New Year's Eve. So maybe that'll be a goal. All right. Well, thanks a lot, everybody. It's been a really good show. Glad we're able to give away some stuff and make somebody happy. Just a reminder that if you're interested in the Parks on the Year book, you can use the coupon code KB9VBR to get free shipping on this book. So check that out. Coupon code that's at the ARRL website. So make sure you, and that's good till the 15th of November. And that is all I have. So get my thing queued up here. So thanks a lot, everybody. I'm Michael, KB9VBR.
Yep, KZ9V. I'm Dave.
All right. You have a great evening in 7-3.